Hello my fellow gamers, welcome to the channel and hope you're all doing okay. So today I want to talk about the iconic game series from System 3, which is The Last Ninja on the Commodore 64. The Commodore 64 was my first computer I owned, and my parents bought it for me for my 7th birthday, and that was the computer that got me into my IT career and gaming. And now 42 years on, I still have the same passion for gaming as I did back then. But 64 will always hold a special place in my heart, because as well as having great memories of playing a lot of games with my parents and my late father now, it also managed to get me through the time when I was 9 years old and I broke my leg on Christmas Eve. And after spending a couple of weeks in hospital, I was let home and had to lay up my leg. So, because I couldn't go to school, I played a lot of games, and one of these games was Last Ninja 2. But before I go on more about Last Ninja 2, let's go back to the beginning and let's start with the game that launched the series, The Last Ninja. So I had this on cassette tape, and I always remember having to put the cassette in the deck of the cassette deck, press shift and run stop, and press play on the tape, and then for the next 5 minutes or so, or sometimes longer, you were playing that the game would not crash and that it would load up to the title screen. Well, it did load fine, and I was just amazed with the game, even though I never got around to finishing it back then. The time I did put into the game, I did enjoy. So yeah, I will revisit the game again, and I'll see if I can actually finish it. The gameplay is a combination of exploration, puzzle solving, and combat. As you went through the levels, you had to pick up various weapons to help you defeat the enemies. Like, you could pick up throwing stars, you could pick up a sword, you could pick up sticks, all very helpful. And when you're only 8 years old, very cool to be playing as a ninja. The aim of the game was to get through to the end and defeat the evil shogun Kunitoki. Now I'm gonna move on to The Last Ninja 2. I had this on disc and was one of the first games that I bought out of my pocket money to play on my 1541 clone disk drive, the Oceanic 11810. Loading times on disc was vastly improved to cassette and was a major game changer for me. So I bought The Last Ninja 2 just before I broke my leg, and with the disc version it came, which you can see in the picture over there, it came with like a map or poster, a rubber throwing star, and a ninja mask. So you could imagine 8 years old running around with a ninja mask and holding a rubber throwing star. I thought I was cool AF, but that's probably just the geek in me. The second game was based in modern day New York because the last ninja was transported through a portal that brought him up to 20th century New York, where he still had to go and defeat the evil shogun in order. Oh, let me check my notes. To preserve the way of the ninja. So yeah, this was my favorite of the series because I actually finished this when I was laid up recovering. And now I'll briefly go on to The Last Ninja 3. This was the last part of the trilogy, and the story seen our hero get transported to the sacred Buddhist temples in the Tibet mountains. And when you were playing through the levels, you had to pick up scrolls and various items, so you'd have all the stuff to ensure that ninjutsu survived in history and also defeated the evil shogun Kunitoki once and for all. And back last year they did do a re-release of it as a collection of the Last Ninja games on PS5 and Xbox and Switch. And yes, they were all emulated titles, but they played very, very well, and I enjoyed playing through them again and having a good time playing them and reliving my childhood memories. Well, that's all for this video. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I will catch you in the next video. So say goodbye, Grogu, and it's goodbye from me. Next time.